Welcome to the Women Inspire Aspire podcast. In this episode, I talked to Shwetha Harsha about front-end development. Hi Shwetha, thanks for making time for the podcast. I know you for a while and you have been working as a web developer. So, can
Yes.
you tell us about your experiences as a web developer, when you started and how it is going?
Hi, I'm Shwetha Harsha. I'm a freelance web developer, which I have around 4 years of experience in that. I've also worked in the IT field for 7 years. I am a Pakka Kannada Hudgi in Bangalore. I love my husband, my son, my family, and my parents. I have actually evolved with my son's growth. Parenting is becoming tough. I have done my BE. Due to happenstance, I chanced upon web development. How I chanced upon is I got a program in Plural Site built on that and HTML, CSS, JavaScript. I also know React, Tailwind, Django, Python. On the need basis, I learn and implement as much as I can. So I also know guitar, Veena. I practiced Bharatnatyam. So I've picked up keyboard on my own and I've also tried kalimba. I have my guitar and I practice it every Sunday as much as I can. I love Carnatic music, so I'm pursuing it. So this is my introduction.
Okay, I guess the introduction was more of hobbies and interests. Can you tell us in detail about your web development journey?
How I started web development is a story in itself. It started with a DM by a friend called Bala. Then it moved on to his efforts in helping farmers to sell their products. This need for a website grew and I started learning WordPress. I have learned everything from hosting on Avid to WordPress to WooCommerce and Elementor because of that. WooCommerce is for setting up an online store. It provides various settings for that. Elementor is another plugin which helps in building the structure of the web page. Managed WordPress, self-hosted WordPress, so many things to learn. There's no end for learning. Learning is for a lifetime. I would like to thank my mentor Nagesh Pai, who I connected on social media and he decided to help me. I also would like to thank Shrikant for helping me learning Elementor. I then developed a Django based app for a friend. Harvard CS50W is a wonderful course for that. It gave me a sense of purpose. So Python is a language I love now. Then I worked on two websites for a doctor and for a medico legal organization. Learned event based plugins, color combinations for a website, member based plugins. I developed a website for a healthcare startup. I did this by learning React's roadmap on Free Code Camp by Tapas Adhikari. There's also this roadmap.sh website which gives roadmaps for different scenarios of front end, back end, everything. I'm learning Laravel. I learned advanced Laravel and Laravel essential training courses on LinkedIn Learning by Shruti Balasa. She also has some books on CSS and Tailwind, which are wonderful. All these books I learned, I'm trying to implement them. I'm trying to learn Flutter and React Native so that I can go into mobile based apps. Then for PHP, I took on Flavio Cope's books, which are very good. Without implementation, whatever you read, whatever courses you take, it's not fruitful. So there should be some real world example portfolio project to back up whatever you say you know. So there is a need for telling that you have to implement things, because I see many people taking a lot of courses but there is no concrete evidence that they know something. Just do the things that you want to do, move on. Implementation is better than planning.
We can move on and talk about your family. You mentioned about your son. You had been talking about more of your parents and husband and also your sister. So, can you give us some details about your family and the relationships and how it impacted you and what are your feelings towards them? Because that's an important part of your journey.
Yeah, so my parents and my husband, my son are very important in my life. So I have a loving and protective husband. He has encouraged me a lot, and my parents are the most wonderful people on earth. So they've struggled really hard during my sister's illness. I realized that when I'm a parent today, they say you understand your parent only when you become a parent. How my dad used to push me for finance related things, so which actually justifies my love for Linux related things right now. He also enrolled me for a finance course with Bharat Chandra, where I learned a lot of things which I understand now. So my son, I love him very much and I've evolved with him. I really love spending time with him. And my sisters, They are really special. I had a special bond with my sister Smita. I really feel blessed that she was in my life. Suprita is a very close person as well. I've had wonderful childhood with them, and I used to fight with them. Those memories are really special for me. Now that we have grown and evolved, we understand each other better right now.
I see that you are doing a lot of learning. I see that you are doing a lot of courses. Can you tell us about your learning journey so that we get inspired by all the learning that you are doing on a daily basis?
I allocate some time every day for something I can do, tech or non-tech. I started because I was watching 46 episodes of Maya Mriga, and after I didn't get the 47th episode, I was wondering what to do. So that is how it started. It has grown so much that I don't have time at all. If I don't have work on that particular day, I try to do some learning. I try to be diligent every day and disciplined. You have to push yourself. The courses I have done, I started with Sharpened Visions. It's a poetry course on Coursera. From there, I started and it dwelled into everything: tech, non-tech, music, poetry, psychology, finance. So I have done around 43 courses completely out of the 70 courses which I've touched. Apart from that, I've also learned WordPress and Elementor. So in the psychology part, there's a course called Fundamentals of Neuroscience. It has 3 parts in Harvard X, which I really liked. So basic point is you have to be busy. You have to rest, yes, but you have to be busy as well. So because neurons that fire together wire together. So all these electrical properties of neurons and calcium and sodium, how they interact, how neurons and networks form, how the brain is parts of the brain connect with each other. I really like that, and I also did a course on poetry because of Sharpened Visions. I was searching for another course on the poetry link, so I found this modern and American and contemporary poetry. I finished the course. I've got the statement of completion in 2021. So it has a wide range of poems and how American poetry evolved. Emily Dickinson's Hope is a Thing with Feathers. I really like that poem. So many courses I've done, it's difficult to leave it halfway some way and you come back again and you forget. So all the things happen. But yeah, I try to finish as much as possible during the time I have.
That's pretty inspirational. That's a lot of courses, and I'm pretty sure that who are into courses will definitely take a cue from you to do more courses and be more knowledgeable and
I mean,
learn.
you have to complete it. That is the main thing. Implement it. Otherwise, it's not useful at all. Like building systems with ChatGPT API. It is in Deep Learning AI website. It's by Andrew Ng. So he is the Coursera co-founder. So he's also done Deep Learning AI, and how he tells that how you have to prompt ChatGPT, and from there you understand how you can use AI as well.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. On the tech side, I have done some podcasts in my tech channel
Mhm.
also on Gen AI, and I have also spoken to the experts on the software security as well as the DevOps side of it.
Mhm.
And it's pretty interesting how it is evolving, and there is more to come. But right now, let's talk about your PhD. You mentioned that you are doing a PhD also.
No,
So,
I'm not doing a PhD. I would like to finish my PhD. I mean, I'm not done deep analysis on what I want to do, but this progressive web apps kind I want to do. Part PhD is difficult. So I want this doctor in front of my name, which is beyond explanation why I want it. But I've always wanted to be the intellectual sort. So I wanted it. Right now, it's not feasible. Yeah.
so do you think having a doctorate degree is being intellectual?
I think so.
Okay, that's an interesting perspective. Now, let's talk about your non-profit side. You said that you also are interested in doing donations to cancer institutes and things like that. So, can you tell us a bit about that?
So this healthcare, it's a maze when you enter and you cannot get past. For cancer, there's a research part of Shankara Cancer Foundation where you can donate. They also have the food part where you can donate for every day, but they have the research part as well. So I'm interested in that. I mean, I want to donate for that.
Okay, that's great. Now, coming to the literary field, I know that you are a writer. I think you have written your first book, and you are also a poet, and you write a lot of entries in the magazines and things like that. So, tell us about what you would like to contribute to the literary field.
I would like to contribute through poetry because I tried this poetry writing and I have come for 3 4 years. I have tried for Wingword Poetry Prize. And last year, after 2 3 years, my Pangs of Death poem was published in the long list. So I am crossing my fingers for this year's contribution. I have sent 3 poems, English poems, and a Kannada poem. So all of this is basically because I did a course in American poetry mod how you can articulate through poetry, how Emily Dickinson does. I mean, she is my favorite poet, and she has a lot of dashes and pauses in her poetry where it gives meaning to that. So based on that, I learned, I mean, you have to open the doors, try something, move forward, then only things will happen. So this is an example where if I had sat without doing anything, I would have not progressed this much. So you have to do something and implement it, then you will bear fruit. I mean, that will bear fruit.
Right, that's great. I have heard some sayings by some gurus saying that the secret of action,
Mm.
basically, we'll have to take a step forward and then let's see where we go from there and things like that. So things work out when we try working on something and try to keep moving forward. On that note, I would like to bring up finance because you mentioned that your father had inspired you to learn finance and you have done some research and you have done some reading about finance also. Now, let's hear about your views on finance and why it is important.
Finance is the future. It is very important to be financially educated because you're educated doesn't mean you're financially educated. So I know a lot of people who don't know basic forms, how to file income tax returns and all such things. So I had one day sat with it, found out how it works, income tax works, and how my money is actually now it is all automized and you can fill in. But that time when the offline thing was there, it was you had to understand it to file the taxes. I also want to bring up this point about financial independence in a woman. Even if it is 1,000 rupees, I would like to advise that some activity should be there so that it helps the household and as well as your pursuits, so that you can have your own money to do something. I have seen cases in the COVID time where the breadwinner passes away and there are helpless women who didn't know how to handle it. I'm not saying everybody will fall into that thing, but if you have to have a financial support for whatever you do in your life.
Yeah, so that's true. And it is important that every one of us needs to be financially literate and make
Yes.
choices of our own on we would like to be. Yeah, so and the other part of it is whether you want to be an employee or you want to be an investor or you want to be a self-employed one or you want to be a
Yes.
businessman. So the choice is ours, but it is important that we educate ourselves financially.
So once you focus on what are essentials in your life, have a purpose, make your money grow. These are very very important. The problem is everybody wants to see something, and I'm not saying consumption is bad. Creation is good, yeah, love that. But you should know what is essential and prioritize in your life.
Right. I guess that's something of a message that needs to go to the youth as well as the next generation so that they can prioritize their time, which is great.
Yeah, they have
And
a lot of years ahead, so they can plan accordingly.
yeah,
If you're 20 something, yeah.
so that brings us to the end of the discussion. I would like to thank you for your time and appearing in this podcast. It has been really helpful sharing your thoughts and views on so many things. And I wish you all the best for your future aspirations in life. Thank you so much, Shweta.
Thank you, Venkat.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.
That was a great podcast with Shwetha Harsha. Please subscribe to this channel and follow it for more awesome podcasts. Opinions expressed by the guests in this podcast are their own. The host or the sponsors of the podcast do not condone the opinions expressed by the guests or the actions arising out of those opinions. Any decisions or actions that the listeners might take as a result of listening to this podcast must be based on their own judgment and will be at their own risk. The podcast host or their sponsors will not be held responsible for the consequences of any actions and or decisions taken as a result of any content in this podcast.